beautiful night in New York City, and welcome back to Fight Night and what promises to be an exciting card. 3 former champions on our card here tonight on the NBC Sports Network. And we get ready to start things off with heavyweights, the established star and the rising newcomer. Liakhovich has been there. He has run that belt. He comes in 6'4", 231 pounds at 35 years of age, taking on undefeated Bryant Jennings. We saw him 2 months ago here. You see that big reach that Jennings brings in. Our rules, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the ref or doctor stops the fight. Fighters cannot be saved by the bell. Fight is official after 4 rounds. BJ, let's talk about Siarhei. As you take a look at him, he's fought in Germany for these last 4 fights before coming back here.
Yeah, Siarhei Liakhovich is a very, very experienced veteran, former WBO world champion, lifted that title from Lehman Brewster almost 6 years ago. But look, he's been inactive for the last 4 years. He's been fighting overseas, and he's looking to make a statement tonight over a hot, young heavyweight prospect who was just featured on NBC Sports 2 months ago.
And Freddie, we saw that hot prospect right here in Bryant Jennings, who's 12-0.
Yeah, Bryant Jennings, you know, one thing about Bryant, he fought his first major fight in his last fight, and he's on a roll right now. He's a great athlete. His athleticism, we took him through his last fight. We'll take him through this fight, I'm not so sure. He's taking off a big bite here because he's stepping up in class. But you know what? I love this kid's attitude. I mean, he wants to win, he's confident, and he's ready to go.
Let's go down to ring announcer Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, here we go as main events and GoDaddy.com present 10 rounds of action in the heavyweight division. Our judges, Robert Perez, John Signorelli, and Robin Taylor. And our referee, Eddie Claudio. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to us tonight from the fighting city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 219.5 pounds. Black trunks, red trim, perfect professional record, 12 victories with no defeats. 5 wins coming by knockout. Please welcome Bryant Bye-Bye Jennings. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He comes to us tonight from Belarus, Russia. He weighed in at 231 pounds, red trunks, green trim. Professional record, 25 victories, 4 defeats, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Siarhei, the White Wolf Liakhovich. Our referee, Eddie Claudio, has our fighters' final instructions.
All right, Brian. Okay, Siarhei, Brian, gave you your instructions in the dressing room. Okay. From here on up, it's legal. From here on up, it's legal, okay? Take account of that. I want a clean break when I tell you to break. No punches, and protect yourself at all times. Touch them up, and let's get popping.
10 rounds.
Scheduled for 10, Bryant Jennings went 10 rounds the last time out. That was the first time he's done that in his career, winning a decision January 1st. You saw it here on NBC Sports Network as he defeated Maurice Bayarm. And here comes Liakhovich, the former WBO champ. It's been a long time since folks here in the U.S. have seen the White Wolf, and has he lost anything in his game? Jennings, nice right.
One thing Liakhovich has always done well and traditionally done well is he sets that right hook to the body very, very nicely. He always has, and we're looking for him to set that punch up early.
As he methodically moves in, and there with a good exchange on the counter was Bryant Jennings, Freddie.
Yeah, he definitely has those quick hands, and he's moving very well. And I think that's a good strategy for this fight. Move, take this guy into late rounds.
Liakhovich trying to work the body. Actually, with that left, he hit the rope.
He did, but he landed the right hook before he hit the ropes on that left one. So that's the second good right hook he's landed.
Let's check in with Chris Mannix. Chris.
On being stronger in the middle rounds. Jennings believes that activity level will give him a big edge over Liakhovich, who has fought just 4 times since 2006.
All right, thanks, Chris. And Jennings, as we talked about, you know, when we met him 2 months ago, he was very proud of the fact that he took that fight on short notice. He walks around in shape, and he's not giving up his day job. He was telling you, Freddie.
Yeah, you know, the thing, he works an 8-hour day every day. He's a very hungry fighter. He's a good athlete. And, you know, he knows that, you know, he's 27, he's young, but he saw the opportunity to step up in class, and he took it. And, you know, his manager asked me, is it too big a bite? I says, possibly, but, you know, the heavyweight division is wide open right now.
Right now, a solid showing by Jennings here in this first round, BJ.
Yeah, he's doing all right. I like the tempo that he's setting. He's moving around a little bit, but he can't just sit there and cover up like that when Sergey's ripping those punches. So I would like to see him move his upper body a little more, but, you know, the pacing for the first round is not bad, so he's doing okay.
Liakhovich has done well working the body of Jennings. The quicker Jennings, biggest fight of his career, closes out with some combination here to end this first round scheduled for 10. Back live in Brooklyn, round 2 starting scheduled for 10. Siarhei Liakhovich in the red, in the black trunks is Bryant Jennings. Biggest fight of Jennings' young career. He's only been a professional for just a little over 2 years. Liakhovich has been a professional for over 13 years in all those amateur fights when he represented Belarus back in the '96 Olympics.
Yeah, he did. Had a solid amateur career, and Jennings did the right thing. Liakhovich is coming off a long layoff. Jennings came out and jumped on him early, and I gave him that first round action.
What do you think, Freddie?
I did too. I gave him the first round, and Liakhovich had a small cut over his left eye, and that last flurry opened that up. And, you know, our man Jennings got a new pair of shoes, too. So I think he'll fight much better than the shoes and sneakers.
That was his... That was his only problem, wasn't it, when he fought 2 months ago, is the sole of his shoe peeled off.
Didn't have many problems besides that. He looked very good against Byarm, and, you know, came out and had a very effective first round, and he's got a smart game plan. Ripping punches on a guy who's been out of the ring very much so for the last 4 years.
You can see the swelling around the left eye now of Liakhovich, and obviously Jennings, the much quicker fighter, working the body here in this second round.
And Liakhovich still looks a little uncomfortable. He hasn't found his range yet. He hasn't found spacing and timing for his jab, and Jennings is floating around and landing good pot shots.
Jennings does have the longer reach, and you could see it there as he just measured it literally by sticking the glove right in the face of Liakhovich, and now he comes back with some jabs.
He did. And sometimes fighters do that not necessarily to, you know, do damage to the opponent, but just to get that range to set up power shots.
One thing, Jennings, he needs to stay off the ropes, though, because Liakhovich is very strong when he has him on the ropes. If he stays side-to-side movement, I think he's going to do pretty well. His speed is really a great asset for him.
Very athletic in that. See Sergey kind of pushing his jab a little bit, kind of forcing it. He knows it's the right thing to do, but he still hasn't found the range and the spacing for it yet. He looks a little awkward still right now.
Jennings again with a solid round here.
Good right hand by Jennings out of that clinch. Good body work by Liakhovich.
Best exchange so far. Liakhovich missing with the uppercut. And Jennings sticks that jab in there again as he backs off. Jennings, Liakhovich now with some good punches as we come to an end of round 2. Get ready to start round 3. It's scheduled for 10. Bryant Jennings 12-0 against Siarhei Liakhovich, the former WBO heavyweight champion, making his return to the U.S. for the first time since 2008 to fight. And, you know, near the end of both rounds, we've seen just that little flurry coming from Bryant Jennings, Freddie.
Yeah, he's listening to the 10 count, the 10-second left warning, and he's taking advantage of it. And, you know, the judges are actually, you know, seeing that last flurry. It's very impressive.
We look at the CompuBox stats there from that round, BJ, and it's not as if Liakhovich is peppering him with punches.
No, he's not. Like I said, he hasn't found his range. He hasn't been able to find Jennings. Look, Jennings is a very athletic, active heavyweight. He's moving around. He's stronger than people think, too. I mean, Siarhei's really feeling the effects of some of those late-round flurries, too, because they're moving his body whenever they connect.
But, you know, BJ, Jennings is very awkward. He's not your traditional style fighter. I think that's part of the reason he's having trouble with him.
Absolutely. Nice hook right hand by Jennings, and a nice flurry after he caught Siarhei.
Jennings again. He comes in spurts, and they have been effective so far, Freddie.
Very, very effective. You know, he's got good speed, good combinations, and as soon as he finishes combinations, he's getting out of danger.
What's he able to do? You're talking about him being a little different in his style that's getting into Liakhovich.
You know, he's a little bit awkward. He's kind of, you see him leaning left and right and so forth. He's not a real traditional type fighter, and he's looping the right hand from outside. And but he's not your classic boxer. Liakhovich is struggling a little bit with his awkward style. He hasn't seen this before.
Good straight right hand right down the middle by Liakhovich, and that's the punch that's going to be effective for him if he wants to start finding Jennings. His looping punches aren't working because Jennings' hands are up so high with that earmuff defense. He's not going to get through with those, so Liakhovich has got to go down the middle. Uppercuts and straight punches.
Liakhovich trying to work the body again, getting a couple of shots in on the right there is Jennings. And again, blood on the left side now of Liakhovich, just on the left part of the eye, right in the corner. It was opened up in the last round.
Nice overhand right left hook by Jennings. Great range. He's not having any troubles at all finding Siarhei with those punches. When you're landing your power punches at an almost 50% connect ratio, you're not going to lose.
Trying to reach in with that jab. Jennings goes to the belt. Gets a little bit in there from Eddie Claudio. Final seconds of round 3. And Jennings trying to close out this round strong. You can see by the face there of Siarhei Liakhovich the rights of Jennings that have been getting through repeatedly through the first 3 rounds. Jennings with some of his best punches right now. The crowd responds. And Jennings with a good right. Liakhovich coming right back. Best exchange yet.
Best exchange. Jennings really going for it right now. I mean, I think it's a little bit early because Liakhovich is still fresh. He can still punch. He's a big guy.
I mean, Jennings really showed an offensive arsenal right there. He went to the body, went up the middle. He actually got Siarhei's attention pretty good. Let's see if he punched himself out, though, and see what he does for the rest of the round.
Maybe it surprises you. Look at the physique of Jennings. You think more about quickness and finesse if you just took that picture and said, look at him compared to Liakhovich.
To me, he looks explosive, though. He looks like an athlete, and, you know, those athletes got the quick twitch muscle fibers. He's a football player. I'm not surprised to see him explode like he just did. It was very impressive.
Jennings was such a great athlete that he had to become a boxer because he said he ran out of things to do. He didn't play basketball anymore, didn't run track, didn't have football for him. So in his 20s, he became an amateur boxer before turning pro because he thought he would like the challenge being such a good athlete. Let's check in now with Chris.
Guys, Siarhei Liakhovich is a new trainer in his corner for this fight, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Now, Liakhovich told me yesterday he had a lot of problems with his former trainer, Kenny Weldon, in his last fight against Robert Helenius. He said he wanted to box Helenius, move him side to side, while Weldon wanted to take the fight inside. He made the switch to Muhammad after that fight and says in this camp the two have been on the same page. Now he says he's worked harder in the last 6 weeks than he ever has before, but as we have seen early on, he has not looked very sharp so far in this fight.
No, the sharper-looking fighter is Jennings. Who doesn't appear that he's worn himself out here with all these punches, Freddie.
No, he's just saving his energy a little bit, getting that second wind and exploding whenever he wants to, it seems like, you know. I mean, every time the opportunity is there, he takes it.
I think Jennings really does well. He really turns those hips and his waist into his punches. He gets a lot of leverage on those body shots, kind of like a baseball player with a baseball bat. He swings it all in there, and he's actually punching harder than Liakhovich right now, believe it or not.
Yeah, BJ, it seems like he would be slapping a little bit there, but you know what? He does shift his body into that shot. You can see that. He's very athletic. I think those punches are starting to hurt.
I see Liakhovich slowing down a little bit this round, and you know, those great body work by Jennings so far in this fight. Good right hand, left hook by Jennings.
And Jennings once again, Liakhovich and Jennings exchanging. It's been a dandy so far. And you see the power of Bryant Jennings. He's won 5 of his 12 fights by way of knockout. Back to live action here in round 5. It's scheduled for 10. Jennings in the black and the red is Siarhei Liakhovich.
Nice short right uppercut there by Siarhei. That's the punch that's going to help him get back in this fight. That short right uppercut inside or the left uppercut. He's got to come up the middle with Jennings.
Because you see, according to our CompuBox, look at Jennings' numbers on just the punches thrown and landed compared to Liakhovich through 4 rounds.
Beautiful body shot. I mean, Jennings is really getting leverage on those shots, and Siarhei's starting to just kind of lull in there. Jennings is lulling him to sleep, and he's really doing some damage with those heavy punches.
Liakhovich continues to just move in there, very methodical, like he has something that he's ready to pounce with here, Freddie.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to cut the ring off and trap him in the corners on the ropes, but Jennings, his speed's just too much, and Liakhovich just can't keep up with him.
And I'm going to tell you, those body shots Jennings has landed, I've already started to see Liakhovich's hand speed slow down. Hard body shots, and it's you know, definitely taking a physical effect on Liakhovich.
You made a good point about the power, the burst of power that Jennings has, maybe more than people thought coming into this fight.
Definitely more than I thought. Definitely more than Liakhovich thought.
More than we saw 2 months ago when he was impressive going the distance to beat Byron.
Yeah, he really, you know, fighting, you know, a similar style, but he's tightened things up, and, you know, the confidence he expressed to us in the fighter meetings yesterday is really showing itself tonight.
How do you guys have this fight so far, Freddie?
I have a 40 shutout right now, 4 rounds 0.
And I've got it, you know, 39-36. I kind of gave it not a charity round, but a close round to Liakhovich in the 3rd round. Liakhovich is in trouble.
Liakhovich is in trouble. Jennings once again unloads on him. That's twice now that he's done that in the last 2 rounds. And Liakhovich feeling the power of Bryant Jennings. Jennings, he knows this is the biggest fight of his career. He said that about the last time when he took the fight on short notice against Byron. That put him at 12-0. As Freddie said, his camp asked Freddie earlier, are we jumping in the deep water? Well, he doesn't need a life preserver right now. He's ready to swim on his own.
Big left.
Jennings closing out the round strong. And Jennings dominating this fight. Bryant Jennings saving the best for last. He's done that in 4 out of the last 5 rounds. That's when he really seems to go to town in that last 25 or 30 seconds with an explosion of power.
And I'll tell you, speed is a great asset, and he has a lot of it. He has a lot of speed.
So much that Liakhovich might wonder what's coming at him sometimes, BJ.
Yeah, I think the hand speed of Jennings really throwing him off. You see Jennings coming right up the middle, cleaning it up with the left hook, and really physically moving his man backwards. Nice lead left hook. they're kind of loopy, wide punches, but very effective and, you know, doing a lot of damage to a very established, strong heavyweight contender. Very, very impressive.
As you look at Bryant Jennings, and you see the CompuBox numbers there, and again, it is doubling up, at least doubling up Liakhovich as we go into this 6th round. And quickly time called by Eddie Claudio. Okay, now they're ready. Premature start to this round. Here we go now, round 6 scheduled for 10.
Even the timekeeper's excited to see round 6. Hit the bell a little early.
And Jennings, that's what you do when you think you're winning the fight, don't you, Freddie? He was the first one to spring out toward the center to start this round.
Definitely. He's definitely looking good. And, you know, I still say the movement gives Liakhovich trouble because he keeps the big guy picking his feet up. He can't set, you know. If you don't let this big guy set, he's not going to be able to hurt you.
He hasn't been able, he's tried, but he hasn't effectively been able to cut down this ring limit.
No, he hasn't. He's very confused on what type of strategy that will work against. A great right uppercut, overhand right by Jennings. Very precise with his punches, but Liakhovich has got a lot of things going through his head right now. He doesn't know how to score. He doesn't know how to find Jennings, and he's getting beaten every round.
Jennings just way too quick for him. He's able to get those punches in, effective punches at that.
One thing I like, we see the younger guy digging the body of the older, more experienced veteran. It's really Liakhovich he's slowing down more than Jennings at this point in the fight. We're in 6 rounds, so, you know, people would have thought that the more unexperienced guy would be the guy slowing down. It's just the opposite.
Nice right there, overhead right by Jennings. This is the night where we have champions, former champions on every one of our fights here tonight. And unbeaten fighters in 2 of those, wanting to show that they deserve their shot of moving up. Jennings making quite a statement here, Freddie, in this 6th round.
He definitely starting the night out in a good way for the up-and-coming guys, that's for sure.
Liakhovich, big swing, and ducking under it is Jennings. You could see that one coming from the Bronx as he loaded up with that one.
You could, and Sergey's just a little frustrated right now, Kenny. He's pushing out his jabs. He's not really snapping his punches off. He can't find the smaller guy, but yet he's getting hurt from the guy who's moving backwards. So it's actually a very confusing situation going on for Sergey right now.
Tried to work the body and go up top there. That was one of the best we've seen Liakhovich here.
Yeah, he's a good combination, but Jennings came in with that right hand. He's always got that counter punch coming, and he's very effective with it.
And Jennings continues to have an answer. The round's coming to an end, so it's time for him to burst out as he's been doing. And Jennings again. And another strong right by Bryant Jennings. That picture tells the story. Siarhei Liakhovich, former WBO heavyweight champ, has been looking like a tired fighter the last couple of rounds. We're in round 7, scheduled for 10 against Bryant Jennings. 27 years old. He's been a pro for 2 years, only 2, just a little over that actually. And you can see the way that he has been fighting in this fight. The jabs, especially of Bryant Jennings, has been setting up the rest of his game.
Yeah, Bryant's being very efficient with that jab, and he's open the overhand right and the hook and the body shots. He's really fighting a complete fight out there.
Everyone we talked to when he fought Bryant 2 months ago in Philly talked about how quickly he learns. He's such a great athlete, Jennings, and he picks things up quickly. You look at him, you think he's been fighting pro a little longer than 2 years right now, BJ.
I can't believe how complete of a fighter he is for 2 years with this level of opposition. You know, I was one of the ones who said, you know what, it's easy to do it against Bryant, but, you know, put him in with a real guy. You know, he's in there with a real guy tonight, and he looks fantastic. He's doing everything that his trainers want him to do, landing big shots. I'm thoroughly impressed with his effort tonight.
And once again, the big shots of the round being landed by Jennings. Let's check in now with Chris.
Guys, clear message from Eddie Mustafa Muhammad in the corner in the last 2 rounds. You're losing. Eddie's questions on Liakhovich about not moving his head. He says he has to use the jab more to open up his big shots. He said, let your hands go these last 4 rounds, Sergey. You're losing this fight.
Thanks, Chris. That's good advice.
That's good advice. But sometimes, you know, you get a new trainer in there, and they've been working together for like 6 weeks. It's really, really hard to get used to a new trainer. I think it's always better the second and third time out, of course, but he doesn't seem to be listening yet, because Jennings is still looking great.
That was a terrific uppercut by Jennings.
And you saw how he set that punch up, Kenny. He shot the double jab, and he didn't shoot it to hurt Sergey. He shot it just to measure him to get the distance. Ripped the right uppercut, ripped the left hook. Very effective power punching by Jennings. He knows exactly where to find Sergey anytime he wants to shoot a power punch. Beautiful measure and spacing.
And he just missed. That was a wicked intended uppercut that just missed. Freddie, you wonder, what does Liakhovich do? He's got to do something, but can he?
I think he's got a broken nose from that last uppercut. The blood's starting to come out. It's going to be very frustrating for him. He came in with a nice uppercut.
Trying to come back. Blood now coming out of his nose. Redness around the eye. And again, a strong showing by Bryant Jennings. Jennings coming in. Biggest fight of his career. And so far, he has responded with authority. They were taking a long look in the corner of Siarhei Liakhovich with a busted nose and redness around his left eye as we get ready for this round 8 scheduled for 10. Bryant Jennings has been controlling this fight. Let's check into Chris Mannix. He was over there in the corner. Chris.
Guys, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad was very clear to Siarhei Liakhovich about this round. Show me something in this round or I'm going to stop this fight.
And you see Jennings talking to him right there. I think he asked him if he's okay.
I thought that was interesting. I saw him come out, and you know, they were whispering things back and forth to one another. I wonder what they were saying.
Yeah.
Wish I could have heard that conversation there.
Liakhovich, questions about him coming in, not about how good he's been, certainly, but only 4 fights over the last almost 4 years, all those in Germany. This is his first U.S. appearance since he lost his WBO title to Shannon Briggs. That's a long time ago, it seems.
And the younger, stronger, quicker guy has really had the perfect game plan tonight, Kenny. He's came forward, he jumped on Sergey right from the beginning, and he's had control of this fight the entire time. Sergey needs to be letting his hands go right here. Jennings is just waiting for him, and Eddie Mustafa made it clear if he doesn't show him something, he's going to stop the fight. Sergey's got to show he wants it here.
Remember, Liakhovich was supposed to fight on that Philadelphia card 2 months ago, but Eddie Chambers got injured. He had to pull out of the fight. And that opened the door for Bryant Jennings to step into the main stage there against Maurice Byram in a lot of roundabout ways. And now look at Jennings here in his biggest moment now, taking over.
Great opportunity. He's opened the eyes of many people all across America. You know, with this fight 2 months ago, of course, but really this effort tonight, I mean, he's showing that he's really a true heavyweight contender. He can go in there and fight with, you know, top 15 guys and probably hold his own very well.
And Freddie, as you talked about, his corner talked about that to you. Yeah, it was nice there about Liakhovich. That was a big move for him.
It's a very, very big move. I mean, a big step up in class, let's face it. You know, he went from his first 10-rounder to, you know, fighting a guy with a great record and great pedigree and great opponents. Knocked out beat Layman Brewster. And he's winning every round. And I think his corner is doing the right thing, though, because if the fighter can't show you that they can do something to change what's happening out there, there's no sense in letting him get beat up anymore. He's taking a beating. I mean,
look at these shots. A great combination by Jennings. Got another jab in and was able to follow it up. And Jennings continues to just take control of this fight. Blood gushing out of the nose of Liakhovich. He's tough, but he has no answer right now for Jennings. Jennings, strong again. That man looks like he's been in a fight. Siarhei Liakhovich certainly has tonight. The younger fighter, Bryant Jennings, very strong, and now the doctor's going to take a look at him before this round starts, Freddie.
Yeah, and, you know, he's been taking some big shots there. I think it's a good move by the doctor. Make sure he's okay.
And one thing I guarantee, Siarhei's not going to tell the doctor to stop this fight. He's going to keep fighting until it's over. And you know, Jennings can suck it up here, really, you know, take control and grab the reins and end this fight right now.
The toughness that is Liakhovich, 25 wins, 16 by way of knockout. He's been off since last August, so in coming back in here against a guy with something to prove, and is in tremendous shape, Bryant Jennings. As he told us when he took the Byron fight, he could take a fight on a couple of days' notice. That's the kind of shape he's always in.
He's always in the gym. He's always running. He's always doing something. He works an 8-hour day. This kid, you know, I take my hat off to him. He's a great athlete.
Liakhovich trying to answer back. And another jab, and that's the thing with Jennings coming in here, according to CompuBox. Liakhovich was the guy that was scoring about 10 more jabs around than Jennings based on previous fights. But it's been the opposite here tonight.
Styles make fights, Kenny, and in this fight, Liakhovich absolutely cannot find Jennings. Jennings all over the ring. He's jabbing, he's moving, but he's landing the power punches too. It's very, very strange that the guy moving and landing the jabs is able to be so effective and such a high connect percentage with the power punches. That's exactly what Jennings is doing. Every fighter wants to be able to do that. Great game plan by Bryant Jennings.
Double right hand. This guy he's putting everything together.
Big left hook.
Big hook.
Liakhovich in a lot of trouble here.
Liakhovich has blood coming out of the nose, redness around the eye. At what point, Freddie, if you were in the corner, do you start thinking about saying enough?
I've already started the last round. I mean, when they gave him the warning if he can't win this round, he didn't show it. They should have stopped the fight. But, you know, fighters will get really, really mad at you. I've done it before in my life, and some fighters don't like me for that because I stopped their fights. But some days I realized I was just trying to help them out.
50 seconds to go in round 9. It's scheduled for 10. The question is going to be, will we get to the 10th round? Will Liakhovich be able to answer the bell unless he's able to throw something from somewhere deep down out of the past, perhaps BJ like the old days, because Bryant is all over it.
I'm not seeing it. I can't. Siarhei cannot get in range to find Bryant. Bryant's teeing off on him. Looks like Siarhei's hurt again.
Bryant does it once again. He sets it up, just misses with that. Comes back to the body. Referee is looking closely at this. Final seconds.
Siarhei's in trouble again, guys. Big right hand.
Big shot.
Biggest shot. That's the end of 9. We're back live in Brooklyn just moments ago. This fight was stopped. Liakhovich did not answer the bell, and there is the winner, Bryant Jennings, the 27-year-old, 2-year pro out of Philadelphia, goes to 13-0. And let's take a look at the 9th round, the last round. And it was tedious, the last 2 rounds for Liakhovich, and this finishes it.
Definitely, you know, he's just taken so much punishment, and when he walked back to the corner, the doctor stopped it immediately. That was a great stoppage. I think they maybe should have stopped it maybe a little bit earlier if I was in that corner, because you know, taking punches like that from a heavyweight, that's a lot of damage.
Maybe they should have stopped it earlier, but in Siarhei Liakhovich's defense, they gave the experienced older guy a chance to go out on his shield, and you know, that's exactly what he went out on.
I agree with that.
That's right. He is a former champ. He's been such a tough fighter, an Olympian, and representing his country well. But Bryant Jennings, wow, how much has he improved? And he was very good 2 months ago. Let's go to Joe now to get the official verdict.
Boxing fans, the time, 3 minutes of round number 9. On the advice of the doctor, your referee, Eddie Claudio, calls a halt to the contest. Your winner, and still undefeated, Bryant "Bye-Bye" Jennings.
2 national appearances. matches, both here on NBC Sports Network Fight Night, and a 2-0 record on national TV. 13-0 overall for Bryant. It may be time for him to start thinking about quitting his day job. We don't want to jump the gun too much. He's standing by with Chris.
Well, Bryant, you look like the more polished fighter. You look like the more experienced fighter. What was the difference for you in this fight?
Comfortability. Like I said, elite class. That's what I practice. I practice to be elite. I told you guys at the meeting, the pre-fight meeting, that I practice to be, perfect. Even though I still really didn't even fight the fight that I fought. I was a little too cautious. I could have done a whole lot more. But, I got it out the way, and he didn't have nothing for me. And I didn't even feel a punch. I didn't feel he didn't have nothing for me. So elite class is what I represent. You can follow us on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, BY Jennings, Instagram, BY Jennings, Facebook, Bryant Jennings.
Bryant, you and Fred joked yesterday, or it seemed like a joke to us, that you were ready to take on a Klitschko. Where do you want to go with your career from here?
I want to go to the top. That's the goal. Like I say, elite class, and I strive to be the best. I want to go to the top of whatever game I'm in. That's how I've been forever. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do what I got to do. Get to the top. Whoever in my way, they're going to get knocked down.
Thanks, Bryant.
All right. Well,
guys.
One thing he certainly learned since we saw him first 2 months ago, how to sell your product endorsement. And here he sells himself in the ring. Take a look at him all the way through tonight, Freddie. He took over at the start of this fight.
It was a great performance. He won from the first round to the last bell, and very, very impressive. And you know what? This might be the start of the new heavyweight division. America coming back in the heavyweight division.
And you talked about it, BJ, how much spring he has, that explosiveness, and he showed it throughout.
It's going to be very difficult for any heavyweight to deal with this Bryant Jennings guy. Look, he landed 193% of it, or 193 power punches at a 58% connect percentage. Very, very big numbers for anyone to land. And, total punches, he landed 253 to Liakhovich, 124. He was the busier fighter, the more accurate fighter, and very, very impressive tonight.